Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Expert to Authority show. This is the podcast for coaches, speakers, and trainers who want to grow their businesses while making an impact in the world. I'm your host, Simone Vincenzi, and today is a very special episode because we start interviewing our GTeX award winners in 2023. Now, of course, it's 2024, but every year when we announce our internal awards for our clients that we give because they've shown some exceptional qualities, either of character or some incredible results, then we want to bring them to you so you can get to know them as well. Because GTeX is a community, and of course, like every community, the quality of the community depends on the quality of the members, and that's why I want you to meet them. And I start today with the one and only Dave Breaker, storytelling coach. Dave, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hello, Simone. Great to be here.
All right, so you won the award, the best newcomer of the year. So we're going to talk about that in a moment and what it means to you. But what I want everyone to know is, first of all, who you are and what is your line of work.
So, I am the storytelling expert. If you want to say it, share it, or sell it, bring me your story. I'll help you tell it. And essentially, what I find is that many people suffer from what I call the smart person's curse. They have these brilliant ideas and they know just what to do until they try to explain it. And then they start rambling. Well, first you got to understand this, but wait, if you understand this is also connected to that, and the whole thing falls apart. So I help people turn their mess into a message.
That's so, and I love the way I think there is something that everyone can learn right now. It's like the consistency of your introduction. I can introduce you as well, and I'm always waiting for your introduction because I know what's coming, and I absolutely love it. So this, you definitely know what you're doing. How did you get into storytelling? Like, what was in you that said, I gotta help people with their stories?
Well, I'll try not to eat up the whole podcast with that question, but I've always been fascinated by stories. And also, I think we're all fascinated by stories. That doesn't separate me from anybody else. But I found out later in life that I'm borderline autistic. And when I was a kid, I didn't really understand what other people cared about and what they focused on and what they thought was important. I felt like I was from another planet. So as I grew and got older, I needed to kind of build my own communication circuitry to connect with other people, and feel like I've done that, but it's helped me come up with some formulas and methods and things that I'm able to teach to folks who do that naturally or on autopilot. At the same time, when I was about 18 years old, I met some people who lived on sailboats. They didn't have a lot of money. Their boats were humble, but they had the best stories. And even though their homes were small, they had the biggest backyard in the world and they traveled everywhere. And when I realized you could have adventures without going to a movie theater or opening a book, I said, I want me some of that. So by the time I was a senior in high school, I was living on board a tiny boat and I went off in search of stories and found them. That's the very short version. So those things kind of working together, the pursuit of stories and then diving deep into storytelling.
What is a story? Because I want to know now. I don't think I've ever asked you this question. What is one of your favorite stories or memories of your time on a sailboat?
Well, there's one that I tell when I speak, which is about being out in the Gulf Stream, which is this current that flows between Florida and the Bahamas. Actually, it flows all the way around the Atlantic, but crossing from the Bahamas to Miami on one winter night, it was very cold, and I got caught in a bad storm in a tiny boat and was dodging ships that couldn't see me in the big seas. And when after I dodged, this is the short version, but after I dodged the two freighters and I just cut behind the cruise ship. And when I looked up into the stern of that ship, I could see silhouettes of people dancing and I could hear the sound through the glass, of the disco. And I'm thinking, those people are having a very different experience. Same place in the same time. I'm fighting for survival and they're fighting to get to the bar for their third margarita. And but the point of the story is, and this is where I bring it around, this is the storytelling lesson, is haven't we all felt that way in our business? Like we're out there on the big seas and nobody can see us, and these big opportunities are coming by and they could run us over and not even know it, but we have something to offer them. How are we going to get their attention? So there's the story, and then there's the storytelling, the lesson for the people who are listening.
That's such a brilliant example, and I can totally relate with the moment, because definitely being on cruises, you're there with your third margarita, you don't care. The sea can just be wild, and you have the person with a little tugboat that is having a hell of a time while they are having the best time of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I can totally see that picture.
And the real lesson there about storytelling is, I mean, because people do this on stage, they go and they bleed all over the stage. They tell their story about themselves, and it may be a big story, but until you make your story a metaphor for the audience's story, you're just up there talking about yourself. So what?
100%. And I know you have a lot of resources in Speakipedia, which I will encourage everyone to check as well. In fact, you can see there's the link in the show notes. We're going to talk later about this project that Dave has started over the Christmas period, but there is a great website called speakipedia.com. You can see it in the show notes. You can see also on Dave's screen an image. And I invite you to check it out, in particular to improve your speaking skills. Dave, I want to ask you a couple of questions about the awards and about GTeX, because there are people that interact in different ways when they join communities. You joined GTeX in 2023, and immediately became like a really important voice in the community. You were there every session. You were very active, very present, and always with the mindset of giving, and always with an attitude of giving. There was not one session I can't remember that one session I can remember. There's no one that you haven't shared something useful for everyone. And so I wanted to actually ask a bit more about that. Is that an attitude that you always had in everything you did? Is it something that you developed in your life? Because you're new to GTeX, but not new to business, right? So that's why I wanted to ask you this question.
So, I mean, I certainly didn't go in there thinking, oh, I'm going to just do everything I can to win an award. I didn't even know there were awards. And I think that people who pursue awards or leadership for those reasons are usually the least qualified to receive the recognition. But a couple of things. First of all, I'm an all-in sort of person. And if I'm going to join a program, I want to get the most I can out of it. And as much as that may sound self-serving, which it is, and that's fine, it's self-serving is different than selfish. And the way to get the most out of it is to connect with the most people, help people as much as I can, and build relationships. Now, some of the people I help may become friends, some may become clients or join my own programs, but that's the transaction is a byproduct of the relationship. So when I get involved with a community, I do what I can to serve that community. That's just common sense, right?
Oh, it is common sense, but it is not. Like, it is common sense, but it's not common practice. Let's put it this way. Because there are a lot of people that might join programs and communities, and then, and of course, everyone has a different personality. So we also had to account for that. Not everyone experience communities and programs in the same way. But definitely that definitely stood out from you, and the way you were on board in things. So what I wanted to ask is, like, what is one thing that, or make one or two things that you've learned from GTeX and from your involvement in a community or the program that really helped you think in a different way or help you make progress in your business?
Well, I think the whole idea, and I joke about this, I never buy people's programs. I'm a speaker. All of my friends and colleagues have programs that they sell. And I attended your free program. Then I did the whatever $29 or $39 program. And I've been through every step of the funnel. And that's because I got value all the way. and because you were the kind of leader I wanted to connect with. Now, I've got great mentors in the speaking business, but you have this area of specialization. And so I think what I've gotten out of it is this idea that I can create uh, high converting webinars according to some of the formulas and ideas that structures that you've provided. And look, it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but I'm still very excited about it. And I wasn't finding that information anywhere else. So really, it's just, look, I've sent out hundreds of thousands of marketing emails and gotten almost zero response. And these aren't BMS, buy my stuff emails. These are carefully crafted, illustrated, I mean, like, people send me compliments on the emails, but not a lot of conversion. So this is another way to go there, and I just see it as part of my journey worth investing in.
And what does it mean to you winning this award, like being the best newcomer of the year? What personally does that mean to you?
Well, I'm glad to be recognized, but and Simone, don't take this the wrong way. I'm glad you think that of me. And I'd rather, I mean, if the community thinks that of me, that's great. But again, I mean, I've got a closet full of real simulated gold trophies from Toastmasters. I've got awards and stuff. And okay, great, nice to be recognized. Pat the ego on the head, put it on the shelf, and I've got work to do and people to serve. So I'm not really driven so much by money or by awards and recognition. I really, if I can help somebody out and light them up, that's great. If I can help somebody and light them up and get paid for it at the same time, that's even better. But it's really transforming the people I touch that drives me more than anything. The rest is incidental.
You know what? This is the most Dave Bricker answer I can get. This is the answer probably I was expecting from you, because
Yep.
I think getting to know you, I think also it shows that your level of self-awareness. You understand in life and in business what's important for you, what drives you, what are your motivators, and also what are you put on this planet for, in particular on the business level. And then you're very clear and you execute on that incredibly well. So I didn't want to have any other answer other than the real Dave Bricker answer.
You know,
I would love to know now, in terms of like what is next for you, what is in your horizons, because of course as individual we evolve, our businesses evolves, and I know you have a few exciting projects on the line. So tell us a bit more about that.
well, I've been working on this straighttalkspeakers.com community. The website is open, the community is not yet. And the idea is to get people interested. Well, why are they going to be interested? Because I serve them and help them and offer value to them, right? So part of that same theme. But I thought, how can I offer more value to more people and promote what I'm doing at the same time? And that's where this whole idea for Speakipedia came to be. And once that concept, where's all this content going to live? It would be like Speakipedia. Wait, is that domain available? Yes, grab it. And within 2 weeks, the website was built, and I had the first 130 articles posted on there, cross-linked, everything done, and have built a few online wizards that will help people create speaking introductions and analyze their copywriting and things like that. So it's just a question of creating. I've also got, it's not open yet, it's almost done, which is elevatorpitchwizard.com, and you'll be able to go in there and it'll walk you through creating an elevator pitch. It's all about helping people tell better stories and helping people communicate better. And I think that kind of service leadership, what I'm counting on is that it will drive people to want to hire me to train their teams, or help with a speech or a message, or it will drive people to want to join the community where they can take some of my classes.
Now that's awesome, and I want to show actually people while I'm while I'm here, I want to show, what is that? It's here. There you go, Speakipedia. We can see it here. It is literally the Wikipedia of speaking. As you can,
It
as everyone
looks
can.
familiar, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah, exactly. It looks familiar, right? It looks very familiar. But here you can find so many resources on speaking, like how to win speaking contests, green screen basics, about your accent is charming. Thank you. Thank you. That's my Italian accent. Why memorize your speech? There is suspension bridge method. So you can see how many resources you can find within then Speakipedia. So make sure you check it out.
That's the first half. There'll be 260 pieces of content, one for every working day of the year, and there will be a video for each one. That's my goal.
I'm often curious about what moves people to action, because there are some people that they have something in mind, they have an idea, and 6 months later, they still have the idea, and 6 months later, they still have the idea. And 6 months later, guess what? They still have the damn idea. But you move at a very fast pace. I've seen you like you go through the program, you implement it, boom, done. Emails done. Idea of Speakipedia done. Idea of the community done. Have you always been this way, or do you have like some decision making process that help you to move at this speed?
I I think I'm as impulsive as almost anybody. When I get the bug to do something, and look, I mean, I have the same blocks. I was going to procrastinate today, and I decided to put it off till tomorrow. But but you know what? Whatever.
It
But
took me a moment, but I got it. It took me a
yeah,
moment though.
but I have some unfair advantages in that my storytelling background, like I have a master's degree in graphic design. I ran a web design studio for 22 years and started back when people thought internet was a hair product. I got in at the beginning. So and I don't have to find a web designer and outline everything and go through all these processes. I can sit down and hammer out a website in less time than it takes most people to talk about one. That used to be my business. I don't do that for people anymore because now I'm building websites for my own enterprises. But there's that. I mean, I have studied copywriting with a copywriter who's built and sold to 8-figure businesses. So, I mean, I've got mentors, I've got some skills that I've cultivated. I'm not a natural. I study this stuff, I work on it. But when it comes time to put something together, I don't have to wait. I don't have to come up with the money. I just have to get up early and stay up late and GSD,
And get
get
it
stuff
done.
done.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And it is fascinating to me because, as I mentioned, people make decisions in different ways and have different motivation. There is something about you that one, you are a student of the craft, whether it's by speaking, copywriting, all the things that are like web, all the things that are important for your business as well. You're a student and you keep being a student. And I think that sometimes there is the fallacy where we get to a certain point in business or in life to then say, I know this already. Oh, I know this already. Oh, I know this already. And this is often what I found that gets people getting stuck. And if I catch myself thinking, because I'm a human being, I get this thinking pattern sometimes, I can catch myself and say, okay, no, no, just, this is not going to be useful to you. And so being a student and keep learning and keep improving and and evolving, that actually also gives you the confidence to say, okay, I can get it done now. I've done my homework.
There's this myth of the next level. Somebody's always trying to sell you a program that will get you to the next level. And there are no levels. It's kind of like if you have $990,999.99. Oh, I need that penny or I can't call myself a millionaire. It's just silly, right? These levels. And some days it's like going to the gym. Some days you can lift more and then the next day you go and you can't lift as much as you lifted yesterday. Well, your body's healing or low on energy or whatever it is. There are no levels, but the worst myth of all is when you believe you're at the top level of whatever you're at because you have blocked yourself from learning and growing.
That's so true. That's so true. I have one final question, which is about you and your life and how you live your life by. What kind of principles that you live your life by? Are there like 1 to 3 principles that are so core to you that you say they make Dave, right? Well, 1 to 3 principles.
Well, so one is it's easier to beg forgiveness than it is to ask permission. Sometimes you have to just go for it. Uh, and then there's it's just a matter of I don't look, I'm still a sailor. I'm a weekend sailor. I'm not a cruising sailor, but when I'm out on the water, especially if I'm out by myself, I don't ever want to feel like, oh well, that broke, but I deserved that, or the boat's leaking, but that's my bad karma. I never want to look over my shoulder. And I mean, there have been times even when I felt that someone else was in the wrong, it's like, here's your money back. Let's just not have a fight over this. You go your way, I'll go mine. I don't. I just want to live my life in a way where I'm not building my success on anybody's back. And beyond that, yeah, I'm just embracing my struggles and challenges and enjoying my journey.
Now that's very powerful to share, and I'm sure that a lot of people connected with you during this interview. I connected with you because I got to learn sides of you that I didn't know yet. So one of the my favorite moments of this interview is actually getting to know our members better and getting to know each individual better. In this case, you. So this is for everyone now that if you want to step up your public speaking game, get to the next level. Talking about next level in your public speaking game, then check speakipedia.com or storysailing.com. You can find both websites in the show notes, and these are Dave's websites, and check out the resources that he has to offer. And then if you're ready also to join a community of speakers, make sure you check out also the incredible community of speakers that he has created. Any final message from you, Dave, before we wrap up?
I think we're all set. Just it's just keep on doing what you're doing. You are one of a few people who offers your programs according to some of the same principles. We all, as speakers, as entrepreneurs, how do we succeed? It's really simple. We offer more value than our fee. As long as the value is in excess of the fee, the price doesn't matter, right? So I see you doing that. It's what I aspire to do. And I wish you continued success, and I hope to be part of it.
And you're already part of it. Thank you very much for being in the interview. Congratulations again for the awards. And for everyone who's watching or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other episode. And also check out Dave's links in the show notes. Until next time, remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao.